Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be a little bit of a shit show. Just kidding. But first of all, I know that I look really good right now. Don't worry, you don't need to tell me. Basically, I just received, finally, the Tarte Shape Tape foundations that I ordered. And the second that I got them, I was like, all right, I need to sit down and film because I've been waiting for a long time to get my opinion out to the world. Making this video has actually made me a little bit anxious because there's a lot of different opinions coming from different sides and a lot of different people telling me, you need to film this video, I want to hear what you have to say, like talk about the shade range. And then there's another group of people that are like, don't even film the video, don't give Tarte the attention that they want, like this is just gonna draw attention towards the foundation. And that's exactly what they want. But my job as a YouTuber, as a makeup YouTuber, is to talk about these things. Like, I feel like not talking about these things is worse than talking about it and bringing attention to the situation. I feel like I really do need to bring attention to the situation, especially if I'm the only beauty YouTuber that you watch and you don't really know what's going on. Basically, Tarte came out with the Shape Tape foundation, one kind being hydrating and then the other kind being matte. So I ordered the first two lightest shades of the hydrating foundation and the first two lightest shades of the matte foundation, and so I'm gonna try those out. Later in the video, I really don't wanna focus this video like solely on the review because I do wanna talk about my opinion. So if you are here only for the review and what I think about the formula of the foundation itself, this time will appear of when the review starts. So now on to my opinion. I have so many thoughts jumbled up in my head. Basically, I pretty much agree with most of the YouTubers who have talked about it. The shade range of this foundation is absolutely atrocious. It is a disgrace to just, I don't know. I have so many thoughts going around in my head and I just don't really know how to put it out in words. If you don't know what the whole deal is, I will put the picture of the shade range right on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Basically, Tarte came out with this foundation that everyone was so hyped for. I was so hyped for. Like, Shape Tape concealer is my all-time favorite concealer. You guys know this. I use it as foundation actually, and it's just like the best thing to have ever walked onto this planet. And hearing that they were coming out with a Shape Tape foundation, I was ecstatic and I was so excited about it. And then I saw a picture of the shade range of the foundation before it came out and I thought it was a joke. I legit thought it was a joke. And I was like, oh no, that's not right. Like, they wouldn't actually do that. Turns out they actually did. They really only made two shades that would work for a person of darker skin tone. And even those shades don't really work for a majority of those people. If you guys haven't watched Jackie Aina or Alyssa Ashley's review of this foundation, I'm gonna link their videos down below. You should really go watch them because I personally am not an expert at super dark foundation shades. I don't really know the right tones or the right undertones and stuff like that to correctly match someone of that skin tone because I am so freaking pale. Like, I don't know that much about it. So like, if you're wanting to know more about that area, like the correct undertone and stuff like that, how those shades don't really work for darker skin tones, I would really suggest watching Jackie and Alyssa's videos. One, they're hilarious, and two, the two of them speak their mind. They're so honest about everything and I really appreciate that. And watching those videos before saying my opinion really taught me a lot. But the reason that I'm so upset about this is because this has been an issue for so long. For as long as I've been involved in makeup, brands don't like to expand the shade range in darker skin tones for some reason. They don't take the time to learn about the skin tones or how deep they should be going in the shade range or something. I'm not really sure why it's such a big issue. Maybe it saves them more money keeping the shade range in the middle of the skin tones, like the medium skin tones. Maybe it saves them money to avoid the really, really pale sides and the really, really dark sides. I'm not sure. I don't know what the logic is. The reason that I'm so upset about it is because this is Tarte. Tarte is a huge brand. I love Tarte. I have always loved Tarte. I'm a part of their PR list. I don't know if I'm gonna be a part of it after this video, but like, I have received a Roomba from Tarte. Tarte always has Trippin' with Tarte vacations, and they take all these influencers and do events, and they have all this money to do all these different things, but for some reason they couldn't come out with a full shade range. That's what makes me so upset, is because Tarte is a huge brand and everyone looks at Tarte as kind of like this role model in the makeup community, I think. And the fact that they didn't come out with a full shade range right in the beginning, right when everyone was so hyped up about this, blows my mind. It blows my freaking mind. Like, why would you get everyone so hyped up for this if you know that this is going to be the backlash? There's no way that they didn't know they were going to get this response with those two shades only being the only shades available for people with darker skin tones. It's amazing. And like, again, I don't know much about the darker skin tones in foundations. I'm not an expert. I always try to state that because I'm not trying to be this person that like claims they know everything about the deeper side of the shade ranges, because I don't. But I do know that the darkest color that they came out with was probably 5 shades too light of what they should have gone to, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm totally rambling, but I'm just like kind of upset about it because I was personally so excited, and like seeing that they started with this shade range just shows where their priorities are. And I get that they didn't want to come out with 40 shades of foundation right away, right from the get-go. I get why smaller brands might do that because they don't know how everyone's going to react to the foundation. They don't know if people are going to like it. But everyone was so hyped up for the Shape Tape foundation that I feel like Tarte should have known that creating a full range for everybody was a necessity. There's no way around it. I don't know why they thought that only starting out with these shades was okay. And the other day, you guys know that I love Beauty Bakery. Obviously, I collaborated with them. They're one of my favorite brands ever. I saw a picture of their newer concealers coming out, and I believe there's only 8 shades of concealer. But even those 8 shades have such a bigger variety of shades in those concealers. Like, that just goes to show who's paying attention and who's not paying attention. And there's just been all this kind of drama surrounding it. It's so hard to keep up. Tarte did come out with an apology. I'm gonna find it and read it to you guys because this kind of shocked me a little bit when I read it. So they did one apology with Pop Sugar, I think it was, where they stated that they hadn't come out with all of the shades yet because it was winter time and people's skin tones get darker in the summertime, which is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard. No person gets 5 shades or more darker in the summertime, I feel like. And that's just a really ignorant thing to say, and I can't help but laugh because it's so ridiculous. And here's another apology. I think this was put on their Instagram. So they said, "You all know by now that we revealed our much anticipated Shape Tape foundation. And the final shade range that we launched was definitely not a full representation of all of you. It may be too little, too late, but we can assure you this was not meant in any kind of malicious way. We all just got caught up in our hashtag Shape Tape Nation and seeing your tweets asking for it. We wanted to get the product out as fast as possible, and we made the decision to move forward before all the shades were ready to go. We know there is no excuse, and we take full responsibility for launching this way. We lost sight of what's really important in this industry, and for those who feel alienated in our community, we want to personally apologize. We're doing everything in our power to bring those unfinished shades as fast as we can at any cost. We can and will do better," in all caps. So apparently they're coming out with 10 more shades, 5 new shades for each side of the foundation. So we'll see how that goes. There's no excuse. They should have done that in the beginning. They should have gotten that squared away before they launched it. And it's so amazing to me because with new brands coming out, taking Fenty Beauty, for example, everyone's using it as an example, but they did a fantastic freaking job. Rihanna did a fantastic job with the shade range off the bat. She knew that the brand was going to be a big hype. She knew that everyone wanted to try it, so she gave an option for everyone to try the brand. And I think that is a great representation of equality. Like, she knows what it means to feel left out, and she didn't want anyone to feel left out, and so that really puts it into perspective for these big brands who are leaving out these certain people. It just shows how ridiculous it is, and it shows how much our community really needs to change. Like, I can't believe this isn't being taken care of already. Like, it's just amazing to me. Everyone wanted to know my opinion. All my followers wanted to know, and that's basically the gist of it. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it will ever be okay after this, because that just, I don't know, it just goes to show what's really important in their eyes, and they should have saw this coming a long ways away. Oh, also, before I get into the review, I just wanted to point out, I don't know if this is completely true, but I read the ingredients on both products, and so I think it is kind of true. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there are rumors about the Tarte gel hybrid foundation that they already have having the same exact formula as the new hydrating Shape Tape foundation. I just do see a picture right here, and I read the first like 30 ingredients, and both ingredients on both packages are completely the same. Someone said that they might like use a different amount of those ingredients. The amounts of each ingredient differs in each different product. I've heard that it is processed a different way and all this type of stuff. It does seem a little fishy to me. The fact that it's the same exact ingredients, I'm not really sure what is going on there, but that's just another thing to add on to it. I'm not sure what is going on. I'm just a little ticked because I was really excited about this foundation. Now I'm pissed. All right, that's basically my opinion. I hope I covered everything I wanted to. There was just so much stuff going on in my head, and I'm sorry if I forgot to say anything else. If I did, I will definitely comment down below in the comment section. Whew, I need to breathe. I need to breathe. So now we're gonna get into the review. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these 4 foundations on my face to see if they match me okay. And then we're gonna put them on and see how they feel. I don't think I'm gonna do a wear test with this foundation because it is already pretty late at night, and to be honest, I don't really care about how it wears. So, sorry. All right, so for the matte foundations, I got the first 2 shades. That is Fair Neutral and Fair Sand. I will swatch those on my face really quick. So basically, it's just like a tube that looks exactly like the concealer. It's just a little bit bigger. The applicator is the exact same as the concealer. So this one is Fair Neutral, and this one is Fair Sand. I do appreciate that they went really light with the shade range, because I mean, not a lot of foundations go that light, so it is hard for really pale people. All right, and then these 2 shades for the hydrating foundation, I got Porcelain and Fair Beige. I think Porcelain's gonna be really light, but we'll see. Here is Porcelain. Actually, I'm just gonna do them on the same side so I can kind of. And here is Fair Beige. It's funny how the hydrating and the matte side have like completely different undertones from each other. Like fairest one with the matte foundation is like a pinkier undertone, and then the fairest one in the hydrating foundation is more yellow toned. And the same with these. This one's more yellow and this one is more neutral, which I find is kind of weird that they didn't try to make the shades like exactly the same. It's not that big of a deal. I just thought it was kind of weird. All right, so I'm gonna do the 2 darker shades. The lightest shades were a little bit too light on me. So I'm gonna do hydrating on this side and matte on this side, and I'm going to be using the Tarte Beauty Blender for both of those. It is a wet beauty blender. I'm first gonna start with the matte side. By the way, all these foundations are $39. I spent a lot on these 4 foundations. $39 is kind of pricey, but for Tarte and for brands that are in Sephora, I feel like that's pretty standard, like for higher end brands. Okay, so we're gonna start with the matte side. This is Fair Sand. I've heard that this dries down fast, so I'm gonna do this kind of in sections. The shade is nice. It matches me pretty well. It's not like too yellow or too pink or anything. It is very pretty full coverage. Probably fuller coverage if you use a brush. not a huge brush fan. All right, so that was pretty full coverage, in my opinion. I thought it was gonna be way matter than what it is. I'm gonna let this side dry. I might do another layer on top of it just to see how it layers together. Right now I'm just gonna go in with the hydrating. This one is in Fair Beige. And I'm gonna blend that in with the Beauty Blender again. Yeah, this shade is like, I feel like it's a lot darker. So I wonder why they did that. Okay, so you can definitely tell this one is a lot more dewier than the matte side. The colors are just so different. It's crazy. This side's so much darker than this side. Also, I'm getting really bad smile lines already on the matte side. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and layer up just one more time to see how the foundation layers on top of it. I feel like it definitely darkened a little bit because the shade of my face is so much darker than what I'm like layering on top of my face. Yeah, it definitely is oxidizing. This side definitely oxidized too. It's so weird to me how the hydrating side is so much darker than the normal side, or the matte side. Okay, sorry for my foundation lips, but this is what it looks like finished. This side is hydrating, this side is matte. I don't know, it's just a little bit disappointing because there's really nothing super extra special about this foundation. I feel like I would prefer something kind of in the middle of it because this side is a little too dewy and this side is just a little too matte and it's creasing on me like crazy already. This one, the matte side is very full coverage, so if you're looking for something to cover up acne and to be as matte as possible, the matte side would probably work for you. It just is not something that I would reach for. God, I feel like I'm just looking really yellow in the screen and I can't tell if it's the foundation or my camera freaking out. But the hydrating side isn't quite as full coverage. It is very, very dewy. It feels sticky. It feels heavy. I feel like there's fuzzies sticking all over my face right now and it's itching the crap out of me. I don't really find this foundation very special. Maybe it's because I'm feeling biased about the shade range and I'm feeling a little salty about it. But honestly, this on my face, the only good thing I really have to say about it is the matte side is really, really full coverage. And it would probably be good for those of you who do have like intense acne or you just want something really full coverage. It does look like it's oxidizing on my face, like around my mouth. It looks like it's getting darker. I'm not really sure what's going on here. It feels heavy. It looks heavy. I just don't know what else to say about it. Looks a little crusty. The matte side is really hanging on to my dry spots. So I'm sorry for such a negative video. I feel like I complained and I yelled and I got fired up about a lot of different things, but sometimes these types of videos need to be made in order to make a change. Companies and brands need to start changing and they need to start including everybody in their skincare or foundation or concealer or eyeshadow or lipsticks or whatever it is. They need to start including everyone. It's not okay to exclude skin tones. It's never been okay. It's still not okay in 2018. It's never gonna be okay. So I just really hope that brands and Tarte has learned from this and nothing like this happens again. I'm sure it will happen again, But one can only hope, you know? I can't even imagine really wanting to try out a foundation and not being able to because my skin tone isn't included. I've never had to go through that. I don't want to have to go through that. That would seriously suck so much. And I'm sorry to those of you who feel excluded with this foundation. I really, really hope that things change soon and this doesn't happen again. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Leave your comments down below what you think of the foundation. Let me know what you want me to review next. And if I forgot to say anything in this video, I feel like I rambled so much and so many things came out of my mouth and it's kind of hard to keep track of. But I hope my point got across, which I think it did. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.